Hello, this afternoon we're going to look at questions 3 and 4 from the lab that we worked on today. The first one is question number 3. Liquid bromine reacts with solid phosphorus, P4, to produce solid diphosphorus pentabromide. So if we look at first, we have bromine. Now we know bromine won't stay by itself. It has to have a partner. It's a diatomic molecule. So we're going to have Br2. And it said in the question that our phosphorus was in the form P4. So we have Br2 plus P4. And it is yielding diphosphorus. Now remember that di means 2, so that means we have 2 phosphorus. P2. And pentabromide. Penta means 5, kind of like a pentagon. So we're going to have Br5. So now we need to balance our chemical equation. Let's make our table. We have our reactants. We have our products. And we have this bromine first. And then we're going to put our phosphorus. So if we look at bromine, on this side I have 2 bromine. 2. But on this side I have 5 bromine. And the only multiple of 2 and 5, that would be the closest, is 10. So what do I need to multiply diphosphorus pentabromide by to get 10 bromine? Well, I'd have to put a 2 out in front. So now I'm going to have 10 bromine on the product side. And what would I have to multiply our bromine by to get 10 bromine there? I have to put a 5 out in front of that. So now I have 10 bromine on that side as well. Is that 5 a little bit better? There. Now if I look at my phosphorus, on this side I have 4 phosphorus to begin with. And because I put the 2 in front, 2 times 2 is going to give me 4. So now I have my balanced chemical equation where I have 5 Br2 plus 1 Br4 yields 2 P2 Br5. Let's look at the next example. Here we have lead 2 nitrate and potassium iodide yielding lead 2 iodide and potassium nitrate. Now it said in the question that we had aqueous lead 2 nitrate reacting with aqueous potassium iodide to produce solid lead 2 iodide and aqueous potassium nitrate. So I know that my lead has a +2 charge because of that. So I'm going to put this up here as a note to myself to write my formula. I have lead +2. And then I have nitrate. And I know that that's NO3. And it has a -1 charge. So how many nitrate ions do I need to balance out my lead? I need 2 of them. So I'm putting those 2 things together. So my formula is going to be Pb. Because NO3 is a polyatomic ion, we're going to put it in parentheses, NO3 sub 2. Now, we need to think about potassium iodide. Think about potassium, the letter K, and it has a +1 charge. And we have iodide, which has a -1 charge. So if I put those 2 together, I just have Ki. And that's going to yield, now I have lead 2 iodide. Well, here I know that my lead has a +2 charge. And I know my iodide has a -1 charge. So if I put those together, I have to have 2 of the iodide ions. So then my formula for that is going to be Pb I sub 2. Now I'm going to add that with my potassium nitrate. Well, I know potassium, again, has just a +1 charge. And I know my nitrate has a -1 charge, so I'm just taking those 2 ions and adding them together, and that will give me KNO3. So now I have my lead 2 nitrate plus my potassium iodide, yielding my lead 2 iodide plus potassium nitrate. Now I need to balance out my atoms. If I look at my reactant side, and then I have my product side, make my table. I'm going to start out with lead. And list my potassium. And I have nitrogen. And my iodide. And my oxygen. Because each of those are different elements. So if I look at lead, right now I have one lead on that side, I have one lead on this side, those are balanced. Great. Now let's look at our potassium. On this side I have one potassium, on that side I have one potassium. Great. Now let's look at our nitrogen. If I look at the nitrogen on this side, there's one inside here, but I have two of those. So that means I have two nitrogens. But over here I only have one nitrogen. So what do I have to do to the potassium nitrate in order to get two nitrogens? Well, I'm going to put a 2 out in front. So that's going to change that to a 2. But now I'm also going to be changing the number of potassiums I have. So that's going to be 2. Because I've changed that to 2, I need to go back to my reactant side and put a 2 in front of the potassium iodide. So now that's 2. So now let's go down and look at our iodide. I just put a 2 in front, so now I have 2 iodides. And over here I also have 2 iodides. Great, those are balanced. Now let's look at our oxygens. On this side I have 2 times 3, because there are 3 oxygens in each nitrate ion. So that's going to give me 6. If I look at this side, I have 2 times 3 again, and that gives me 6. So now I have everything balanced with 1 lead 2 nitrate ion plus 2 potassium iodide equals 1 lead 2 iodide plus 2 potassium nitrate. And that is how you do questions 3 and 4 from today's lab. Have a great day.